So we have been practicing the seated meditation last night and today. Then this afternoon, I think we can do some breath work and learn some of the standing movement practice. So this is really important from the Taoist way of practicing. They do the moving meditation, not just static meditation. They think like this.
昨夜と今朝とね、瞑想の方を中心に行いましたが、ちょっと立式でね、その動く瞑想、立式のやっていきます。
Then I think it's really worth the effort to gain development and sophistication in the movement practices. It's really a lot of mental development to control the body. It's really important.
動いていくことによって、メンタルフォーカス、意識を集中させてね、行くっていうこともしながらやっていきます。
So some of the principles of Taoist movement, for example, are unification of the lower body and the upper body.
その時に下半身と上半身を結合させるっていうことね、大切です。
So there's a mindful coordination in any of the movements or postures with the lower body and the upper body unifying at the level of the waist.
腹回りを起点として、下半身、上半身を結合させながら連動して立って、ね、動いていくことをします。
So maybe for many people without training, the body is very uncoordinated, or they don't have a knowing or an understanding of the functions or the qualities of the lower body and how this can unify and combine with the upper body. People don't experience that.
普段の生活の中で私たちの体の使い方としてね、上半身、下半身バラバラになってしまいがちなことがあるですので、下と上をつなげていくっていうふうに、やっていきます。
So the basic quality of the movements is that the movements begin in the feet. The feet is the starting point. And the force, the physical force begins in the feet and then is directed by the waist to the hands.
足元からの力がぐっと腰側から、そしてこの上半身の腕を取って手とつながっていきます。
And so we could also think of the waist, we could use the term physical dantian also.
腹回りっていうのが丹田の一つとして捉えます。
So this, I think, in the study of kinesiology in the Western science, they have this term kinetic wave or kinetic chain of motion. And this is an integral part of Taoist Qigong movement, that the motion, the wave motion or the power begins in the feet and moves through the whole body and then is expressed in the hands. Then from the hands, it follows back to the feet. So this is really like a wave goes up, crests, and then the wave comes back down and then starts again. It's a wave-like quality.
動くときに足元からの動きが上に腹、そして腹から胴体、腕、手足、手と、ね、上から連動して下から上につながっていって、波打つように動きが循環していく。そのような動きを意識していきます。
This is important because maybe we'll notice the arm movement or the hand movements and we imitate the arm or the hand movements, but the rest of the body is not active or participating in the movement, which that's not correct.
よくね、タオの動き、手でいろいろ動かして、で、手ばかりに意識がいってしまって、他の部分をすっかりおざなりにしてしまうということをしないように注意していきます。
So, begins in the feet. Feet are the beginnings.
そこからの力が上につながっていきます。
The other conception is continuous motion. There's no stopping and starting. It's something continuous.
もう一つ途切れることのない流れの中で循環する、ね動き、巡りを学びます。
No stopping, no starting. Then another important concept is they call swimming on land or swimming in the air. They have this phrase, swimming in the air or swimming on the land.
そして、まるで水の中を行くように空間の木の海の中を舞うで動きを紡いでいきます。
So when we're in the ocean, for example, we really have a tangible sense of buoyancy. We're surrounded by the ocean. Even maybe the swell comes and it actually moves our body. We're in this buoyant.
その中で浮遊するような感覚があるかと思う。
Or when we move, if we move under the water in the ocean, really there's some resistance that we're moving through on all aspect. All aspect is
水を吹るように、水の水圧を感じながらね、こう動けると思うんですが、まさにそれの感覚っていうのは実際ここに空間にね、あります。
So we want to, this is an important quality to develop this. We really gain this feeling of density in the air. And this density of the air is supporting us with a buoyant quality, and we're moving through it. It's not empty space. That's a quality of Taoism.
この空気の気の密度の中で動きをね、紡いでいきます。
So this one, the Chuangzi Taoist philosopher, he says the fish is born into the ocean, but is oblivious of the water. The human is born into the ocean of qi. Human is oblivious to the qi. They have this kind of saying.
このお話ね、したことあると思うんですが、タオの人、掃除がね、言ってた。魚は水の中で生まれて、それが当たり前としてね、暮らして、住んでます。人はこの火の海の中で生まれています。
So this is we're living in an ocean of qi energy. And qi is governing all life, but most people are oblivious to qi. They don't have experience of it or not aware of it. So we do this kind of practice. It's one of the effects or the results of practicing. We become aware of qi energy.
私たちは初めからこの木の海の中に生まれ出て、この力に支えられて生きてるんだけど、すっかりそのことを忘れてしまうことがあります。だからこういった実践を通して、もう一度意識的にそういった支えられてる恩恵に気づいていくっていうね、側面もあるかと思います。
So when we do meditation, we can understand that meditation will more create energy and transform energy. And also we store it, we gather and store energy. This is a kind of process that we begin to engage in meditation with the qi energy. Okay, so the qi energy is created, internally created. The qi energy will transform into other substances. Qi energy will purify. Then qi energy will be gathered. We gather qi energy. We store the qi energy. This is just a simplistic view of a meditation. Then in the Taoist movement, this is more encouraging circulation of qi and to circulate the qi. And especially circulating the chi through the limbs, like so through the legs, through the arms, and circulating chi through the organ networks.
手足、そして五臓六腑に、気を行き渡らせています。
Then also the movement practices will encourage blood circulation.
もちろん、気血です。血の巡りもよく促してくれます。
And so in a lot of the old books, they don't make a strong differentiation between chi and blood.
これに
There's a relationship of chi and blood.
っていうのは密接につながり合っているものです。
So they say chi leads the blood. So when blood is flowing, actually chi is in front of the blood. They talk like this.
気が行くところには血もね、ついてくる。
Chi is also mixed and contained within the blood.
血中の中にも気が、浸透しています。
So when we do a dynamic Qigong movement that's dynamically circulating blood in the body, that's also we can understand it's a very healthy and circulates the Qi energy also.
いろいろなダイナミックな動きを通して血を巡らせていく。同時に気が巡る気血を循環、されていくということであります。
So we'll practice some aspect of the longevity Qigong. Maybe we try this weekend to try to learn five or more movements, I think, of this
長寿
practice.
法と呼ばれるものの中から、いくつか動きね、
It's a really nice movement. And so also we can understand when we have more skillful ability in our breath work, that when we do the movement, we would also be engaging in deep breathing, which creates oxygen-rich blood, which is circulated through the movements.
呼吸に合わせて、
for
動
health
きに
benefits.
合わせて呼吸を深めて酸素を、全身に運ばれていくっていうね。
So for today's session, we'll do a little seated breath work. Okay. So it can be confusing because maybe when we talk about inner alchemy, which is maybe the most advanced kind of practice, this is the most advanced. In the inner alchemy, we, forget about breathing. Yeah, just concentrate mind. Okay, this is a kind of instruction. But actually, in the development, at some point, you should master the breathing. That's as you're to be a well-rounded practitioner. And so, yeah, sometimes it's really good to just do breathwork sessions. So we'll do a little basic breathwork practice today to ground and to tune in with the breath. And then we'll take our breathing awareness and we'll apply it to the standing movement. Okay. So let's just do our water element. We'll warm up. Let's inhale. Breathing in, elongate the spine. Breathing out, relax the spine. Frog voice. I'm Frogman. So he like when you here lift, then bend the knee. Yeah, really cool. So you really there's more rotate your hip. Knee. This and here push from the heel. Lengthen the tendon. Lengthen the spine. Down. Bend the knee. Go back. So here when you hold this fish, you really can feel here. Here, but also there's this rotation in the hip. And then really push it forward. Then back. Opposite. Now, if you are tight in this forward position, this is also a great practice. You put the heel against the ball, so you between the two toes, you put your Achilles tendon part in between the two toes, and rest the heel on the ball of the foot. Little balance, and then you hold this like this. And let the back of the knee has a little downward force. So the back side of the knee, you direct little push it down. And then this part you pull back. Someone's phone vibrating. This is a fire element meridian stretch. So this is our water element stretching. This posture is a fire element. We put the heel in on the inner side of the leg and bend this leg back. And again, we begin with the spine. And we come down. Gather the hands. Take a breath. Coiling the waist, and you push and contract. Expand, push, contract. So you really can feel in the hip, especially this hip. Okay. And then we want to emphasize the small finger and middle finger. So this is your pericardium meridian. This is the heart meridian. Okay. So pericardium is the sac, protective sac around the heart. And this is the heart organ meridian. These channels run down this way in the body. And so when we push, we want to feel a stretching and an emphasis of these fingers. Inhale. Relaxing. Inhale. Exhale. Close the hands. Take the rear leg up and massaging. Opposite. Come down. Down into two palms. Inhale. Exhale. Push. And coil. That's another kind of stretching you can do sometimes. And over time, you understand more the relationship of the five elemental theory and the yin yang theory and movement. You understand this later.
岩盤フローの実践していく中で、陰陽、そして五行と動作との関連性への理解っていうのが少し
So,
ですね。
for example, when we have a upward movement or downward movement.
上の空洞と下に。
So up is yang, down is yin. So kind of from the Taoist view, we move in a way that's following the principle of yin and yang. Therefore, we're developing yin and yang energy. This would be a concept.
動きを繰り返す中で陰陽の気を調和していくというように考え方があります。
So none of the movements are like random or just spontaneous. There's a very precise theory of why we move in any way. And the simple way to start to understand that is, one, it's circular. It's all based on circularity because nature, universe follows circularity. It's a universal law or pattern. And then two is yin yang and the five elements. We follow this theory in the movement.
ランダムな動きというわけではなくて、顔の動作、ムーブメントとそういう、陰陽のね、動きであったり、その自然界の摂理にのっとった、循環する、巡りに基づいた、動きという、ね、ものがあります。円運動をね、繰り返していく。
For example, the metal element relates to the lung organ.
鐘のエレメント。
And if you feel your lungs, your hands, then you like inhale,
ちょっと上がる感じ。
exhale, inhale, exhale. Can you feel the up and down a little bit?
鐘のエレメン
There's
ト
an
は
up and down. The
上にこう上がる
when we breathe in, the intercostal space a little goes
感
up.
じると横隔膜
And
の
when you breathe out, it a little sinks. You can feel that
浮いて
right
沈
here.
む。
Or if you kind of go like this, put your hand on your intercostals,
こう
and wave back and down, back and down. You feel there's that movement here in the rib cage of the lungs. It's up and down. This is simplistic, but up and down.
すごく開いて閉じる。
So then in the Taoist, I like to use the term the five elemental kinesiology. So understanding our human movement based on five elemental theory. For example, we have this kind of movement. This is a common, like a Qigong movement. Go up. And we go down. Or today we did the turtle, right? When we went up.
今日朝やったね、亀の動きもそう
We
で
had
す。
this up and down.
そう
So here we went up, down, yeah, up and down.
の
And so
はい
that up and down we can classify as a metal element quality.
鐘のエレメント
Now we just did the fire element stretching, fire element movement. Okay. So one quality of this movement we can see is we open, this is opening, and then we close, open, close, open.
これは
So also we look at the heart organ. It's a so fire element relates to the heart organ. Heart organ opens and closes. So open and close, like this is a common Qigong movement. That could be a fire element movement. Now the elements mix. Usually in any movement, if you can look deeply, you'll see different subtle aspects of the other elements. So for example, the earth element is a horizontal movement.
土のエレメント
So
の
horizontal movement.
渦を巻く
But usually the earth element has some quality of coiling of the waist.
渦を描く
So in fire element, we're coiling the waist on the horizontal here. So the waist is moving with the earth element. It maybe sounds complicated, but you study this a lot, it gets really clear. And then when you understand this concept, you can polish your movements. You can make really precise
研究していくと
movement based on these theories.
動きがその5行で理解できるようになってくると、その動きへの理解っていうのがね、深まるかと思う。
Then you have very precise movements following yin and yang and five element theory.
陰陽5行
You're developing the energy of five elements in yin yang because the
陰陽
movement is precise.
をこう練る、調和していきます。
And then again, the ability to create precise movement is dependent upon your a good attribute of mental concentration. You have a strong ability of concentrating.
意の集中、意念の集中を足していく、加えていくという。
Is interesting or not interesting? You guys are like, yeah, to me, it's really fascinating when I start to learn these things. Wow, it's very interesting because we can think like Taoism's a philosophy. Maybe people think it's a philosophy, but these energy arts, it's the philosophy embodied. It's the embodied Taoist philosophy. To me, it's very interesting. It's unique.
思想を、陰陽五行 などの
You're doing it in your body.
エンボディって体に根ざしているっていうことに、体を通してそれを体感するというか、そこが僕はとてもそう体を通して体験できるっていうのがとても興味深いと思っています。
And for me, I think some philosophy or ideas are nice, but is it real? Because we're thinking it, it's a thought, something we were thinking about. But when we can do something with our body, for me, okay, that's real. I can do it in my own body. It's something real.
思想とかいつも頭で考えて学ぶものと思いがちだけど、実際それを体を通して理解していく、いけるっていうのがね、そこでこう納得していくっていうか、体で、それがすごく面白い。
So we'll do a few rounds of breathwork. This is one typical posture we use for breathing practice, and you can do this in the cross-leg posture or do in a chair. And we hold the hands like this. This is the hand. This is called the 5 energy gate posture. So we have an energy gate on the palm of the hand, energy gate on the crown, energy gate in the ball of the foot. So maybe some people would practice this like that, with the feet up. But you can do in a relaxed way, like this. Generally, to prepare for this posture, we have a movement form to enter into the posture. So we'll begin in the Wuji Mudra. And you simply relax the body. Then we inhale, raise the hands up. Exhale, raise the hands down. Inhale, raise the hands up. Exhale, coming down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, coming down. Now slightly rotate the arms, elbows a little forward and open the forearms. And this creates the space under the arms. So this is a one, like we talked the other night, the 3 lifts. So you lift the perineal muscle, you lift the tongue up, and you lift the crown of the head. That's a principle to follow in practice. And the other principle is there should always be space under the arms. We never close this space. So they say like you have a small bird's egg, like a quail egg, or just a little small egg in the underarm. So if you close it, you're going to break the egg. So for example, if I relax my elbows like this, so a lot of students, they sit like this. So I relax the elbows, and all of this closes. And the armpits are part of a Qigong conception called the 4 nest. Okay, so we have 4 what they call nests in the body, and this is where a lot of disease accumulates. Okay, so this is one of the nests. This is a nest here, behind the knee and the hip crease. So this sometimes I think people develop tumors or cancers, or there can be circulation problems. So that's if you start to look, a lot of the practices will stretch or open those areas. And then they also have like a tapping practices. You tap these 4 nests to create the stimulation and opening. And so then in any of the meditation postures, like here or here, over time, we want to have awareness of the underarm, and we create an open space here.
こうね、広げるようにしてみましょう。あとは3リフトね。インと下と脳天。天門は天につなげていきます。3つを上に上げていきます。
So the beginning practice of breath work would be called tuning the breath and balancing the inhale and the exhale.
まずは数拍の呼吸の調律、自然呼吸から入っていきます。
Generally, in order to do that, we will do a little bit of counting.
数を数えながらいきます。
So the first basic pattern is we count 4,
4です。
but a slow count.
ゆっくりと呼吸。
So you concentrate, rooting to the dantian and allowing the breath to be drawn into the dantian.
丹田に目指して呼吸腹に通して数拍4の
And inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Have a feeling of expanding the lower back and the abdomen when you inhale.
吸んで腰腹周り膨らんで広げて
And closing the lower back and abdomen when you exhale.
これで腹周り少し縮まる。腹の膨らみに感じ取りながら数拍繰り返していきましょ
Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, breathing out. So counting by yourself, work to balance and tune your inhale and exhale.
う。ではこのように各自で数拍の長さを整えながら呼吸を養っていきましょう。
Over time, develop a mindful awareness of the quality of your breath and allow the physical breath to become subtle, much like a single thread of silk.
呼吸を整えていく中で、まるで絹糸のような細い呼吸にしていきます。
So depending on your level of mindfulness, you can have the feeling, this single thread of the breath. When you inhale, it doesn't touch anything physical. It goes right into the center of your nostril and down the center of your throat. And it's not touching anything. You gain this kind of a subtle awareness.
鼻から、絹糸が 鼻の穴に触れずにスーッと内側に、体の内に通じていくように、呼吸をしてみます。
After some time of tuning and counting, drop the idea of counting and allow the breath to flow naturally. You still have awareness of the breathing, but don't try to control it. Just let it be a natural breath.
はじめ数を数えて数拍の呼吸が整ってきたら、あとはその数拍の長さの感覚を捉えながら数えることからは離れていきます。
Just purely focus on the breathing.
数拍に意識を向けていきます。
Now let's inhale, raise your hands up. Exhale, coming down, gathering to your dantian center. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, raise the hands up. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, exhale. Joining the thumbs. And nurturing, embracing your lower dantian, gathering your energies. Completely forget about the breathing and just purely concentrate and rest and embrace the dantian.
守りながら心を休めていきます。
and relax. Okay, so that's a kind of a little example of how you can do some breathwork session.
ブレスワーク、呼吸法ですね。今のような感じで、タオの気抜いと吸うような微細な呼吸に練習してみました。
The important thing is there's a lot of talk, this idea of like breathing with the belly.
腹呼吸するっていうけれども。
And a lot of times that can have people, they'll put their mind into the stomach muscles. They'll be concentrating on trying to move the stomach.
何か腹の代わりに筋肉を動かすっていうね、風な感じで。
Does not lead you to such a good experience. It's not really correct. So you want to, understand, this is a skill of your yi, mind, will, intention can embrace the dantian. This is an attribute that we want to develop. This is a skill. And then when you have a good level of mind intention in the dantian, the breathing naturally follows the location of the mind. The breath will go to that place. And then you, at that stage, and a big part of that is also relaxation, release, and openness. This is a big part of all of it. Okay. But this is a common Qigong terminology, Feng Song. Feng Song. Feng Song is it's a skill. Or even they say Feng Song Gong, like Qigong, Feng Song Gong. This is the skill of opening the whole body in a state of relaxation. But this doesn't mean unconsciousness. You're very consciously aware of the body, and you don't have anything contracted. The whole body system is open. Yeah, this is called Feng Song. And another conception of Feng Song is it's an original state of the body. Like something like we had as children before we experienced any trauma or stress, and we didn't have too much conditioning when we were really young. The body's just soft. You don't have knots, you don't have tension. Then later we had some trauma, emotional stuff, a lot of society conditioning or different experiences. The body changes. We get pains, or we can't stiff shoulder, or all of these things. And so this is this conception. One important condition of proper practice is we can engage in Feng Song. We can have openness and more original quality within the body. Okay, and so when the body is open and relaxed, but we're mindfully aware, it really feels there's a lot of space for the breath to go in and out. It's not an effort. It's not difficult to have a deep breathing because there's a spacious, relaxed state. And so that's really important. And then the other important thing is that we have a embrace of the dantian. So the body is open and relaxed. Our mind is embraced the dantian. So then when we take a deep breath, the breath naturally goes to the center place in the body, naturally. And then we start to feel from the inside is expanding and contracting. The inside body. And then this inside expansion contraction, the abdomen expands, the lower back expands, also the perineal muscle expands, these places. And then there'll be some also the quality of the diaphragm muscle up here. So diaphragm muscle, perineal muscle, the front abdomen, and the the back.
そういうね、
like this.
動き。
Okay. So this is something from the center is expanding in all directions. This is correct.
そういう
This is correct.
動きは良いです。腹呼吸。
Most, from my observation, most people teach breathwork. They don't understand anything how to deploy and direct the mind,
この
and then they just do techniques or windy breathing,
大切に
and maybe they emotionally pump people up, but not actually will do anything in practice. It's not going to lead to any development.
一般的にされてる部分がなんか目立つような気がする。
And then when we cultivate breathing, we have to understand breath is maybe breath and mind. These are the two really subtle, intangible aspects of ourself, our mind and our
呼吸の
breathing.
因縁って見えない部分。
And so they're non-physical.
体
And so to try to practice with this non-physical, subtle element it's a little difficult. It's
領域です。
takes some time and some
数字
patience to work with.
忍耐強さがに必要かもしれません。
But that's one important attribute is you spent some time
今みたいに
working with your breath
この時間を持って
and
呼吸、自分の呼吸を見つめながら
understanding there are these two elements. There's the inhale, there's the exhale.
っていう
And in the beginning, for everyone, they're
初めは
really
呼
different.
吸が
They're out of balance.
すごいアンバランスがあると思うんですね。
They're almost like two separate things.
スーと吐くがつながってない。
So that's the first step in the practice is
つ
we
まり感。
we bring the inhale exhale to the same time period.
で、
And we also work to unify the inhale exhale.
呼吸をね。
So this becomes there's a continuous breathing, almost starts to feel circular.
で、まるで円
There's not a stopping and starting. You feel the circular
循
flow.
環する。呼吸の巡
It
り
becomes continuous.
が出てくると思います。
And then anytime you do a breathwork session, you want to, in the beginning, you're concentrating, you're counting, you're applying some kind of technique. You're very mindful, you're counting, okay, 1, 2. You're like doing something. Doing
こと
something.
をします。で呼吸をするとき、それは何かに集中し
That's
ながら
the first part.
意識を
Then, after
こ
you
とをします。
spent a little time, maybe you
で、
did
しばらく意識を集中させて、
20 breaths or 18 breaths, or you
呼吸のね、
kind of mindfully practiced, did some
リ
work.
ズム。
Then the second part, you drop
できたら
all idea of doing anything, but you keep this continuous breathing. You let the breath be continuous.
からを離れていきます。
So then that's not naturalness. You're
自
not
然と呼吸が整
not have a strong idea to do anything.
意識を向けて自然
And so that's really important to gain development in your breathwork. You can't just the whole session you're doing some technique. Becomes too artificial and too rigid. It becomes very stiff.
リズムが整う、呼吸が整う感覚を、立ち上げていくためにね、カウントしますので、技術としてね。
Any questions on breathing?
数を数えるってことは、からを離れていきます。
Question?
整う感覚に意識を持つっていう感じでやって。今のところで何か聞いてみたい。
So in the past, when you talked about how the non-breathing tricks the kidneys into
Just subtle breathing.
yeah,
Subtle breathing.
explain that.
So in the Taoist explored the organ systems, and especially the organs related to the five element. The organs related to the five element are solid organs, and they're the most important. So like the heart and the liver and the kidneys, for example, these are considered solid organs, and they're essential. You cannot live without them. And then they assigned or observed that the organs had a relationship to different physical functions. So, for example, the liver governs eyesight, or they say the liver opens into the eyes. This is one of the classifications. And the liver is also responsible for the smooth flow of up and down energies in the body. The liver governs that. The liver also has relationship to the tendons and the nails. And for example, the lungs have a relationship to the luster of the hair and also the skin. Yeah. And so they observe these the kidneys open into the ears. So hearing from the Taoist view has a relationship to the health of the kidney. And then lungs govern breathing, the physical respiration lungs do. Okay. And so the lungs have this responsibility of pumping or governing the act of respiration, but they say the kidney is the root of the breath. So the lungs are, facilitating this, rhythmic pumping, but the actual pulling in of the breath is governed by the kidneys. And then this aspect of because kidneys not anything related this air, right? It's just the lungs. So the kidneys are pulling from the level of energy. So chi energy and breathing are paired. They're have a relationship and they're kind of combined. Yeah. And if it's like a kind of riddle. One of my teachers said, but chi energy is that which is opposite of physical breathing. Teacher said like that. It's like, what does that mean? But so there's, this physical breathing is really, it's intangible, it's also tangible. You can feel that. Yeah. Or even we take some breaths, we inhale, the way we feel something changes. And we can observe these things. But a chi energy is opposite. It's lies something opposite of breathing. So if we have more and more subtle breathing, the kidney thinks there's something wrong. So the kidney pulls more. And this starts to draw energy. It's a natural, you don't have to think about it. But more energy start to be drawn into the body.
What was Benjamin's question?
So then, how the subtle breathing leads to the kidneys pulling the energy.
So I'll summarize simply for you. Maybe you don't remember. So
微細な呼吸が、微細な呼吸をするときに腎臓はどう関わるのかっていうことだよね。
So the lungs
肺はね、
govern respiration.
restoration means
It's this physical breathing.
肺ってね、この身体的な呼吸をするときに
Lungs.
働きますよね。
But the kidneys are the root of the
で
breath.
も、気の観点で見ると、呼吸を体に引き込む力っていうのは腎が宿している。
So the health of the kidneys are what dictate if someone can take a deep breath, for example.
だから深い呼吸をするっていうのは腎臓の宿る。
Has anyone experienced you cannot take a deep breath?
時々ね、呼吸がやってみ、整えてきて、
Sometimes you feel like
詰まってる感じ。
you're blocked here, just you can't take air in.
浅いな。
I have many students like that. They're like, how do you, they're like, I can't, they feel like the breath just doesn't go past it. It's just kind of stuck here. Doesn't go deep. Can't take a deep breath. So that condition when you feel like you can't take a deep breath, or there's just something's closed. That's actually related to kidney.
それそういう時って
The kidney is like in a weakened state. It doesn't have the power to pull the breath in the body.
引っ張る力っていうのが弱まってるっていうね見方をすることがあるそうです。
And so I actually like to understand that conception. So one of the first Qigong instructions is bring your mind to the Dantian. It's like a first instruction. And the Dantian and the kidneys are related. They have a relationship.
すごく密接なつながりがあって、腎気というのも丹田の力と。
Maybe the kidney energy is weak
だから腎
or lacking.
気が弱まってると。
But because we're starting to concentrate the Dantian, Dantian will produce energy. This energy goes directly into the kidneys first. Starts to fill up the kidneys.
補う、支えるっていうことをしてくれるっていうふうに言うそうです。
Or maybe you feel like you can't do deep Dantian breathing or you cannot do abdominal breathing, but you keep concentrating the Dantian, the energy fills, kidneys fill, then the kidneys really pull the breath deep into.
腎臓の力となって呼吸を深く引っ張る力になっていくんだそうです。っていうね、仕組みがあるそうです。
So that's you have a question?
No question.
So that's some ideas.
そこで昨日おっしゃってた名門に意識して、それで丹田を直接丹田に見るんじゃなくて、名門から見るんですけど、名門と腎の気っていうのは、そうするとどうなるんですか？
In the last night you said to look from here, to look down from Memon. So when you do that, is there some related Memon and kidney?
Yeah, the Mingmen is rooted in the kidneys.
So, Memon と腎臓はつながり合ってる、そこも。
So the Mingmen is related to the navel.
で、おへそと名門ってこうつながってるんですね。
So our navel and the Mingmen is the energy center between the kidneys. It means the gate of life or the gate of destiny.
名門って命の門。
So this is in one, and then the Mingmen branches and fills the kidneys.
で、名門がこの腎に、気を満たすというか、そういう
So
働き。
this, like from the mother, we have the umbilical
お
cord.
母さん、そのでつながっていたとき。
And so that's from science, they know, oh, there's blood and nutrition goes
血がね、送られる。
from the mother into the baby. But there's also energy that goes. It's a
送られてきていました。
it's not visible with the science. But this energy from the mother enters the navel, it goes from the navel into the Mingmen point, which is like a straight line.
名門、お腹の中。
And then it fills up the Mingmen, and the Mingmen also moves this energy out into the kidney. And just to look at the process of fetal development, does anyone know the first organ that develops in a fetus? What's the first organ that
で
develops?
きる臓器って何かご存知のかいますか？
Kidneys.
腎臓。
Kidney is the first organ that develops in the fetal development.
形成されてる。腎臓から形成されてる。
So kind of from the Taoist view, kidneys are most important organ.
腎っていうのは腎臓ね、の腎っていうのが一番大切にされている。
Then for the Taoist, the kidneys is linked with our sexual organ and our reproductive ability. It's one thing. There's like our sexual organs and our the woman's egg or the man's semen. All of that is a part of the kidney from Taoist theory. It's not a separate thing. That's a one unit. So the kidney creates our this vitality that can create offspring. This ability to create offspring is from the kidneys. So kidneys is really powerhouse thing in the body. It's a really powerful thing. Yeah. And so that's the Dantian breathing. Later you get really good with your Dantian breathing. You feel You feel your kidney.
気をします。
You feel
丹
the
田に
kidney is a part of the dantian breathing. Or even the kidneys start to feel warm. You feel warmth in the kidney.
気をね、補うような呼吸のつなげていくこともできます。
So then we'll finish our lesson in a few minutes, and let's do just a few longevity qigong movements,
数分やりますけど。
just to get some.
あ、質問どうぞどうぞ。はい。
私、呼吸法でね、呼吸が、なんか、その日でうまく入りづらいなって思ったとき、体が自然とね、逆呼吸
はいはい。
してて、で、それでこう、入れるように感じになってるんですけど、それがこう、気持ちよかったら、逆呼吸のまま続けていいのか、気づいたら戻した方がいいのかね。
どういう感じ？逆呼吸って。
逆呼吸っていうのは、
I understand.
Okay.
So I understand.
But when she feel the difficult to breathe, she does opposite way, then
But
she
that's
feel
not
comfortable.
correct.
Then is that okay to keep like that?
That's not correct.
Okay.
So there's two patterns of breathing. It's called like regular breathing or dantian breathing, and then they have what's called reversed breathing.
その
Qigong.
逆式、普通の呼
These are
吸
two
と逆
basic
式呼
patterns.
吸。逆のね、呼吸っていう。
And generally, reverse breathing is mostly taught incorrectly. I've never seen anyone teach it correctly.
で、それとちょっと一緒なのかわかんないけど、今ですね
I know.
逆の呼吸、反転。
It's not taught correctly usually.
僕が調べてみると、一般的に伝えられているその逆の呼吸って、ちょっと、僕自身の理解からちょっと外れることがあるんですね。
But because it's not common, a lot of teachers want to talk about it because it sounds special,
だから
like
正しい
they're teaching
伝わって
something
いないケー
special,
スが多い
but actually not correct.
と思うんだけれども、だから実際そういうのを教えてる人の中でもちょっと、正しくないなと思うことがあるんですね。
And so the dantian breathing or like abdominal breathing, also called like that.
反転呼吸と呼ばれ
This
る
is a step one.
一つあるとして。
If you can't do that, you definitely cannot do reverse breathing. Impossible.
が、できてないと、その反転呼吸っていうのはまず、できないということがある。
So that's also understand sometimes like in learning, there's attributes you have to develop. And if you don't have this attribute, you can't do this one.
だから
This
何
just
かの呼
doesn't
吸を
work.
起こすときに、まずこの呼吸法ができてないと次に行けないっていうね、ことがある。
And so, yeah, that's sometimes if you have trouble
何かちょっとなんか、
to feel comfortable with
この
dantian
辺に
breathing,
入っていけないなという腹の呼吸がしづら
you
い。
just have to be patient. You have to be patient and slowly work to develop that.
もう少しそこ、ペーシェンって言ってるけど、ミンターを持ってこう働きかけていくっていうね、ことが必要な時もあります。
And so then dantian breathing will generally start to develop the qi in the dantian and the kidney.
丹田の気が充実してきて、
And
それを補うっていうことがある。
Also starts to activate the perineal center. The perineal, this is an energy center in our center of our perineal muscle. And so then in the Taoist call this Hui Yin, the sea, like a sea of yin or the place of yin. Okay. And this is really the first important energy center that opens.
で、ここも
It's like
エ
a
ネルギーセンターでありますが、ここのエネルギーが活性して開いていく、開いていく、開通していくことがあります。
The center in the perineal muscle, it's usually also called the earth gate or earth door sometimes.
大地の門とも
Different names for this place. But this is usually very open on people, so it's actually a place where you're losing your energy. It's just like
で、この遠因っていうのは、
it's
だんだん
open
開いていく
and
と開きがちになって気が漏れるところ。
there's no awareness or development there, so your energies just flow out of
そ
the
こか
body.
らね、気が漏れてしまいがちになっています。
And so then that's in later, you're able to have Dantian breathing. You really start to engage the perineal muscle with the breathing. So you inhale, you open.
吸うでここが緩む。
You exhale,
吸
you
うで
lift.
閉じる。閉める。っていうような動きがね、をしていく
And
こ
then
とがあります。
this will start to also work and refill the kidney.
で、その動きを取り入れていくと、腎気を補いやすくなっていくっていうことができるんですって。
The reversed breathing,
で、その上で
there's
反逆
different types.
逆式呼吸、反転呼吸
But one basic way to understand is reversed breathing
をしていくには、
is taking the Dantian energy and pushing it along the spinal cord. This is one thing that's doing.
火を、背骨につなげていく。
And then generally there can be like a small reverse breathing, a middle reverse breathing, and a larger reverse, like 3 levels to that practice.
逆の呼吸の3つのレベルがあるそうです。今、大中小っていう言い方をした。
But it's the ability to you draw up the spine and then exhale back down to the dantian.
そして丹田に返していくっていう。
So if you can't really do dantian breathing, it's like a
気づけていない。
reverse breathing.
その僕自身のいるところの反転呼吸は、にはつなげていく。
So maybe most people will teach reverse breathing of squeezing the belly.
反逆呼吸っていうの
You
は、
contract the
お
belly
腹をキュッと締めるような感じでやる。
on the inhale.
そういう感じか。
Yeah, but this most people will teach contract the belly, expand the chest
で、胸を開く。
on the inhale.
こう
Yeah.
波打つような。やってください。
You contract the belly, you open the
お
chest.
腹閉めて、胸開いて。
Yeah? Wrong. Wrong. Sorry. Yes. I'll show you. Come here. Come. Yeah. So that's everyone teach like that because people don't understand the Qigong. It's just people teach that. So you have to touch my body.
ちょっと、このあたりが。
So most people will teach like
一般的に教えられてるのは、
so first is reverse breathing have to train like this position first.
まず逆呼吸ってこうやってね、
Have to.
トレーニングしたりし
You cannot do that sitting up
座ったまま
in the beginning. Impossible.
まあ式で
So
横たわったままで練習する。
so most people maybe they teach
多分普通一般的に教えられてるのはこういう感じで。
something. I'm exaggerating. Most people will teach something you contract here. Like so inhale.
引き締めるよ。
They teach this should be inhale and then exhale. Maybe you learn something like this.
同時
This is not correct what I'm showing.
そう僕が今見せてる
This is not correct.
正しいあれではないんですけど、
But this is generally people teach this.
逆呼吸ってこんな感じだと思います。
What did you learn?
わかんない。それを早苗さんが学んだのかはわからないけど、もう知る。
You don't remember. But generally though, reverse breathing people teaches inhale with the lung. The inhale expand the lung, and then exhale expand the belly. You go.
そう、吸うで肺が広がって、で腹が閉じて、で吐くで腹が膨らむ。
Because opposite of what they think Dantian breathing is.
っていうことです。
So Dantian breathing, the abdomen expands on the inhale, contracts on the exhale.
丹田呼吸の吸ってで丹田が広がって、吐くで縮まる。
Then usually reverse breathing people teach, okay, inhale close,
で吐くで広がる。
exhale open, because reversed. But that's not, no. So one is this should never close.
で、僕が伝える反転呼吸、逆呼吸は、吸うでも丹田は閉まる。
Inhale,
おー、
exhale.
どっちも膨らむ。
そうそう。
うん。
両キープしたまま。そうそう。
こんな感じで。
そういうのを、スパイナルコードの方にバラしていく。
But
そうそうそう。
but that's just she's feeling on the top.
Yeah.
And so that's the main difficulty of the reverse breathing is you can never lose the mental embrace of the dantian. You cannot lose
う
it.
ん、そう反転呼吸するときも、意識
This is the
意
difficult.
識したまま丹田を包み込みながら意識で持ってっていうのを保持してやっていくんです。
Continuous. So that's most people teach reverse breathing. They don't even have concept of embracing dantian.
使ってるのはその丹田を意識
They don't have that concept.
コンセプトが抜けてる場合
So they just oh inhale, squeeze your abdomen, contract it.
で丹田を
That's it. That's the teaching.
っていうね、ことがよく言って
Then exhale, exhale, push your belly up.
丹田が膨らむっていうね。
And basically that doesn't do anything.
でもそれだけじゃ何もなされない。
But that's generally in books or people teach that.
一般的な、教えられてるのです。そういうケースが多いみたいな。
But if we understand the difference, the abdominal breathing, dantian breathing is just trying to nurture dantian, build energy dantian. Yeah, that's an attribute. Then the reverse breathing is we start to be able to
丹田の気を養う。
push the energy along the spine in the back. We do, and there's a lot of different techniques, but it's almost like you're circular. So you're able to circulate the energy and create density of the energy.
気の密度を深めて
So then
つなげていけるそうです。
when you're doing that and
それをする時に
you're the first and the perineal muscle is opposite. So in dantian ring, perineal muscle
丹田の
opens on the inhale.
緩んで広がる。
In the reverse breathing, the perineal muscle lifts on the inhale. It's opposite.
だと吸う時に栄養が上がります。
Put your hands here.
締めるね。っていうのが
So then in the reverse breathing, when I inhale, the first this is the inhale comes here. So actually, if you feel it, feels like the abdomen kind of goes back,
そ
but the abdomen is going back and the kidneys are filling. You're
う。
filling the kidney.
で、ちょっと若干お腹は少しね、へこむ感じはあるかもだけど、腎が満ちる感じになってきます。
Then second after here, so here, this part fills.
ここが満ちてる。
Yeah, this part fills. Then
逆に
and this fills. This part will also fill.
吸うで広がる。
That's all the inhale is that.
ここ
That's
吸
the
うで
inhale.
全部。
Then the exhale is
吸う
here.
で、こんな感じ
like that.
になるっていうね。
So, of course, there can be many different schools or technique or something. This is one way.
逆呼吸でもいっぱいあるかと思う。
Yeah, my teacher that I learned breathwork from taught like this.
で、僕が
And then
反転呼吸は
I hadn't learned reverse breathing, but he knew, you know, a lot of Qigong people talk, oh, reverse, it's advanced but they don't know what they're talking about. They just teach people contract your belly. That's it.
うん
And so it's kind of nonsense. And then also like a strong, you know, if you make something contract or tight in Qigong, that's a stop the flow of energy.
だから一般
Yeah, it stops the
的に
flow.
言われてる逆呼吸。
So the abdomen has to be like, it's like a wave. It becomes like a wave. And you never close it. It stays full the whole time.
丹田の逆呼吸でも丹田は満たしたまま
You're not closing it.
やっていくんです。
Yeah, and so that's kind of the first skill is you learn the dantian breathing. You can create fullness here.
まずで
You
も
can
そう
feel
するに
expansion, contraction.
を
You
充
can
実
feel
させる
fullness.
っていうコツをね使わないと、
And then those kind of techniques,
だからそこをまず
there's a lot of different ways people practice that.
つなげていける。
So for example, like reverse breathing can be practiced here.
こういう立つ瞑想でね、その逆呼吸の練習してすること。
Or even they'll do reverse breathing. You inhale from the foot to the kidney, then down. Or so there's once you get the ability of that pattern of breathing, then it can be put into different postures or movements. There's different technique. So I think that's an important idea is attributes. You're developing attributes or abilities. Yeah, and so then to be able to breathe to the Dantian is a one ability or an attribute. And then once you have that in place, there's other things that can build on that.
っていうのを、ちょっとごめんなさい、もう飛んでしまいました。今、ジェスがすごい話してたんですけど、はい。ごめんね。ちょっとまた別な展開になったかもしれないけど、はい。So this is the lunchtime we need.
Yeah, so we'll do a little bit of movement to, we've been sitting,
置いてご覧にします。
do some movement. And I just finished, because breath work cannot be forced.
ただ、その
The development of breath work.
無理やり適応する人も無理やりするものではないので。
So that's the really difficult challenge. If you want to really develop breathwork ability, it cannot be gained through effort. Cannot. It's really subtle.
ちょっと忍耐強く呼吸をね、こう通していくっていうのがね。
So you really a lot of patience and a lot of repetition, and then the skill develops. So we'll do some aspect of the longevity Qigong. So we did the turtle this morning.
そう今朝ウミガメのね、動きしました。
And now we'll do the opening form. So preparation form. And we'll do a few movements that come before the turtle. So the opening, the starting form is like this. So we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So first movement we'll learn, this is called cloud hands.
これは雲手と呼ばれる動作です。
So also this is popular in Tai Chi movement.
対角の動きとしても知られています。雲はクラウドの雲です。
And so in this movement, we're working up and down, left and right.
右左とこう描くように上下と手の
And
動
we
きをつなげている。
training continuous motion. Looking at the hand as you go by.
手のひらを見るようにして動いていきます。
Let's try from the opening again. So this, we can see the opening, this is gaining some centering with our Dantian centers. So this is from the sky to the upper Dantian. Then here, upper Dantian to middle Dantian. Then here, middle Dantian to lower Dantian.
伝えていく動きです。
We inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Then inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Step out with your left leg. Cloud hands. Then the next movement in the series is rotating the yin and yang, sometimes called turning the bakwa, but it's tracing a yin yang symbol.
発形を回すとも言われるけど、陰陽を回転する動作。
And the next movement we go like this.
陰陽の。
Can you see the
陰陽を
yin yang pattern?
見ること、見て取れると思う。
Here's the outside circle. We go up the center, down, down. that. That's a circle. And then this is the center line of the yin and yang. And then tracing the outside.
ラインと内側のですね。
This is sometimes both of these types of movements sometimes are called silk reeling movements. The kind of Qigong training, silk reeling. So for example, this is another silk reeling movement. Similar to the rotating yin yang. So these are kind of sometimes Tai Chi people use these, but also Qigong people. It's to train special quality of continuous motion.
方向の動きっていうのがある太極拳のちょっとごめんなさい、名前ど忘れしちゃった。シルクリーリングっていうんですけど、日本語でちょっと忘れちゃった。Do you have the palm relaxed or?
So here palm is relaxed. It's a good question. Here palm is stretched. Here palm is relaxed.
手を緩めて、
Here the palm is stretched.
広げて、で、手の
That's also yin and yang.
の
Yang,
どうも
yin,
理解ね。
yang. So the yin and the yang of the palm becomes really important in movement training. And that helps to circulate the qi. It's like a pump.
で、この手のひらの陰のライトとしてを繰り返すことで、これもまた全身の血の秘訣の巡りを促すという、効果もあると言われています。
So those are some simple Qigong movements. And it's good to learn some of this kind of movement. So it's helpful. Okay,
はい、じゃあ
thank you so much for class today. ありがとうございます。